Basics of Immunology. Welcome to this session on Basics of Immunology. In this session, we will discuss about all the relevant details pertaining to immunology that one must know while undertaking vaccine administration program. By the end of this session, you will be able to define the basic terms related to immunology, explain basic functions of an immune system, discuss the components of an immune system, illustrate the classification of immunity, elucidate immunodeficiency, and describe the importance of vaccination. To begin with, every living organism has a particular system called the immune system to protect itself against pathogens and to help in removing foreign bodies like cancer cells. This system generally consists of cells, chemicals, and processes which function together to protect the internal structures of the body like lungs, intestines, etc. from all forms of foreign antigens such as viruses, cancer cells, toxins, and microbes such as bacteria, fungi, and parasites. Let's get familiar with a few terms associated with immunology. Immunology is the study of how the body fights the disease and infections. Immunity is a state of being able to resist a particular infection and toxin. Antigen. It is a foreign substance or a molecule which helps in stimulating an immune response by specifically activating lymphocytes. Antibody. It is also called as immunoglobulin and is produced by the immune system in response to a foreign body called antigen. Immunoglobulins include IgM, IgG, IgE, IgD, and IgA. They can be found in the bloodstream and the body. Take a look at the chart listing the hierarchy of defense in our body and the corresponding examples. The first line of defense functions with a combination of physical and chemical barriers, which includes skin, saliva, tears, and cerumen. The second line of defense actively identifies and removes unwanted invaders. This includes defensive cells and defensive proteins. The third line of defense is powerful but slow. The immune system comes under the third line of defense and is a complex system consisting of various cells, proteins, molecules involved in various defense mechanisms which are activated against antigens. Basic functions of an immune system. Defense against infections. Decreased immunity results in increased susceptibility. Defense against tumors. Potential for immunotherapy against cancer. Control of tissue regeneration and scarring. Repair of damaged tissues. Immune cells can injure cells and induce pathologic inflammation. Recognizes and responds to tissue grafts. Basic cells of immune system. Most of the cells of immune system are derived from progenitors in bone marrow. Lymphocytes. These are B cells, T cells, and natural killer cells. B lymphocytes. B cells fight against bacteria and viruses by making antibodies, the Y-shaped proteins, which are specific to each pathogen and are able to lock onto the surface of an invading cell and mark it for destruction by other immune cells. T lymphocytes. T cells are of two types. T helper cells stimulate B cells to make antibodies and help killer cells develop. Cytotoxic or killer T cells directly kill cells that have already been infected by a foreign invader. Natural killer cells. These are functionally cytotoxic and represent innate population. They kill virally infected or tumor target cells. They do not have specific cell receptors. Monocytes. These are primarily involved in the immune response against bacterial infection and make up roughly 5 to 10% of all circulating leukocytes. They have a kidney bean shaped nucleus. Basophils. Basophils are granular leukocytes of myeloid lineage and are found in peripheral blood. They are 14 to 16 micrometers in diameter and have a bilobed S-shaped nucleus. The function is similar to mast cells which are found in tissues. Eosinophils. Eosinophils, named so because they histologically stain with eosin, are granular leukocytes from the myeloid cell line within the bone marrow. They make up 1 to 3% of circulating leukocytes. Neutrophils. These are granular leukocytes which are 9 to 16 micrometers in diameter and have a multi-lobed nucleus developed from myeloid cell lineage within the bone marrow. They are primarily involved in immune response against bacterial infections and they cause acute inflammation. Dendritic cells. These are specialized phagocytic cells found in most of the tissues and arise from both myeloid and lymphoid lineages. Mostly seen at the interfaces between external and internal environments. Mast cells. They are similar to basophils and contain granules with preformed mediators to be released after stimulation to external antigens. Stimulation of mast cells occurs by complement proteins or immunoglobulins IgE. This table provides a brief information about cells associated with the immune system. Please take your time and study it carefully. Macrophages. When monocytes enter the tissue, they become macrophages. They are highly motile, having long lifespan and have greater phagocytosis. Activated macrophages recognize and remove unwanted particulate matter. Components of an immune system. Although all components of the immune system interact with each other, they are typically divided into the innate immune system and the adaptive immune system. Here is a comparative study between the innate and adaptive immune systems. Innate is the first line of defense, whereas adaptive is the second. Innate is antigen independent, while adaptive is antigen dependent. Innate depends on cells that require no additional training to function, whereas adaptive needs training so that those do not attack the wrong cells. Neutrophils, monocytes, natural killer cells, complement proteins come under innate. T and B cells feature under adaptive. Innate is rapid and reliable, while adaptive has long-lived memory, ability to adapt to new microorganisms, as the name suggests. Note that immunity can be classified into two types, namely natural and acquired. Acquired can be further divided into active and passive. Both active and passive can be categorized into naturally and artificially acquired immunity. Example of naturally acquired active immunity is immunity acquired following clinical infection, and naturally acquired passive immunity occurs during pregnancy, in which certain antibodies are passed from the maternal blood into the fetal bloodstream. Vaccine is antigen containing preparation which lead to antibody production in the body. Hence, it is an artificially acquired active immunity. If antibody containing preparation is directly administered to develop immunity, that would be an example of artificially acquired passive immunity. Active immunization. This refers to the production of antibodies to a specific agent after exposure to the antigen. This can occur either through natural infection with a microbe or through administration of a vaccine that can consist of attenuated or weakened pathogens or inactivated organisms. Passive immunization. This occurs by ready-made antibodies from one individual to another. It occurs naturally by transplacental transfer of maternal antibodies to the developing fetus, or it can be induced artificially by injecting a recipient with exogenous antibodies targeted to a specific pathogen or toxin. Immunodeficiency. It is a condition in which the ability of the immune system to fight infectious diseases is compromised or entirely absent. There are two kinds of immunodeficiencies. Primary immunodeficiency. This is hereditary and is caused by genetic defects. Example, X-linked agammaglobulinemia, XLA, common variable immunodeficiency or CVID. Secondary immunodeficiency. This deficiency is caused by environmental factors which can be due to other treatments or diseases. For example, AIDS, cancers of the immune system like leukemia, immune complex diseases like viral hepatitis, multiple myeloma. Reasons of primary immunodeficiency include predominant antibody defect, combined T and B cell defect, other cellular immunodeficiency, phagocytic defect, diseases of immune dysregulation. Reasons of secondary immunodeficiency include systemic disorders such as HIV, immunosuppressive treatment such as chemotherapy, prolonged serious illnesses. Let us now discuss the importance of vaccination. Though these immunodeficiencies do not have vaccines, vaccines have played a major role in eradicating some diseases like polio, smallpox, MMR or measles, mumps and rubella, BCG or Bacille Climate Guerin, pneumococcal vaccines, etc. These are still in practice and have a schedule for vaccination. Vaccination plays a major role in immune deficient individuals in fighting against microorganisms. As the incidence of dangerous pandemic diseases is invading global health, the necessity of vaccinations from childhood is very important. Knowledge on how to handle, administer vaccines, and manage the emergencies during and post vaccination is very important for healthcare professionals. Now that we have come to the end of our discussion, let us quickly summarize. Innate immunity is a non-specific defense mechanism which activates as soon as antigen is introduced into the body, whereas adaptive immune system is involved with antigen-specific responses. Immunodeficiency can be caused by genetic defect or caused by environmental factors. Vaccine is antigen-containing preparation which helps the body to develop antibodies against it, leading to artificially acquired active immunity.